The year 2024 saw many impressive performances in film, with numerous actors and actresses earning well-deserved praise. However, there were also several performances that fell flat. Some lacked the necessary charisma or gravitas, while others were so poor they detracted from the films themselves, undermining what could have been strong movies. Regardless of the reason, these underwhelming performances share a common thread. When a key cast member fails to deliver, it affects the entire production. They highlight how, even in large-scale films, success depends on the collective effort of everyone involved, with each member playing a crucial role. With that being said, the 10th worst performance of 2024 on our list is Dakota Johnson in Madame Web. Dakota Johnson certainly gives her best effort in Madame Web, but unfortunately, her portrayal of the title character, Cassandra, feels flat and lacking in energy. While Cassandra is meant to be a clairvoyant with the ability to foresee the future, Johnson's performance doesn't match the presence of other key characters in Sony's Spider-Man universe. She also fails to stand out alongside stronger performances from her co-stars, such as Sydney Sweeney. In the end, Johnson's performance doesn't manage to elevate the script, which itself is too clumsy to ever truly take off. And the 9th worst performance on our list is Jerry Seinfeld in Unfrosted. Jerry Seinfeld's journey since his iconic sitcom has taken some questionable turns, with Unfrosted being a prime example. His portrayal of Bob Cabana, the man behind the invention of the Pop-Tart, falls disappointingly flat. The performance lacks the sharp wit and charisma that defined his stand-up and sitcom days, coming across as dull and uninspired. It feels as though Seinfeld is simply coasting, offering a watered-down version of his familiar on-screen persona. The result is a performance devoid of energy, leaving little of the humor or charm audiences might expect. And on number 8, we have Tom Hardy in The Bikeriders. Tom Hardy is renowned for his intense dedication to his roles, but in The Bikeriders, this commitment ends up being more of a hindrance than a strength. As Johnny, the leader of a biker gang, Hardy adopts an unusual vocal affectation that feels more like a strained attempt to emulate Marlon Brando than a natural choice for the character. Instead of adding depth or menace, the result often comes across as exaggerated and distracting. His over-the-top delivery keeps the audience acutely aware of the performance, making it difficult to fully immerse in the period drama's world. And the 7th worst movie performance of 2024 is Dua Lipa in Argylle. Argylle is packed with so many twists and turns that the plot becomes hard to follow, but most of the cast delivers passable performances, except for Dua Lipa. While her talent as a singer is undeniable, her acting in the film leaves much to be desired. Playing the enigmatic femme fatale Lagrange, her portrayal feels remarkably stiff and uninspired. The character is so underdeveloped that her presence feels almost unnecessary, and neither the script nor Lipa's performance does much to make her role memorable. It's a disappointing addition to an otherwise chaotic but engaging film. And the 6th worst movie performance of 2024 is Kevin Hart in Borderlands. Kevin Hart is typically known for his high-energy, explosive comedic style, where his characters often seem to burst with energy. This makes his portrayal of Roland in Borderlands somewhat puzzling. While it's admirable to see Hart attempt something different and take risks with his performance, his character, along with many others in the film, feels surprisingly one-dimensional. Even more disappointing is how forgettable Roland ultimately is, failing to leave any lasting impression despite Hart's effort to shift gears. And the 5th worst performance of 2024 is Ed Skrein in Rebel Moon, Part 2, The Scargiver. Zack Snyder goes all out in the latter half of Rebel Moon Part 2. But even an onslaught of visual effects can't salvage a film weighed down by a lackluster story and uneven performances. Among the cast, Ed Skrein stands out for all the wrong reasons as the villain, Atticus Noble. His portrayal feels like a mishmash of every eccentric sci-fi villain cranked up to an absurd level. While his performance is arguably the film's most memorable, it teeters on the edge of parody, often feeling more campy than menacing. Though Noble is written to be a sadistic and formidable antagonist, Skrine's exaggerated delivery makes it hard to take the character seriously as a genuine threat. And the fourth worst performance on our list is Shia LaBeouf in Megalopolis. Megalopolis seems destined to be remembered as a grandiose vanity project for Francis Ford Coppola, but its flaws go beyond its convoluted narrative. Among the film's mix of strong performances, Shia LaBeouf's portrayal of the rebellious Claudia Pulcher comes off as particularly absurd. While LaBeouf clearly relishes the role of the brash troublemaker, his exaggerated delivery and flamboyant gestures leave little room for nuance. In a movie where excess is the norm, his performance still manages to feel disproportionately over the top, drawing attention for all the wrong reasons. And the third worst movie performance of 2024 is Conor McGregor in Roadhouse. Jake Gyllenhaal brings his usual charm to Roadhouse, the remake of the 1989 classic. But the same can't be said for Conor McGregor, who plays the enforcer Knox, one of the film's primary antagonists. It's unclear exactly what McGregor is aiming for with his performance, as his unhinged, over-the-top approach feels more chaotic than genuinely threatening. Instead of fully embracing the character, McGregor seems to be playing a version of himself, with each scene cranked up to an extreme. In contrast, his performance pales next to the more measured and controlled presence of Gyllenhaal. And on number 2, we have Channing Tatum in Deadpool and Wolverine. Channing Tatum is usually reliable when it comes to blending humor and action, but his performance in Deadpool and Wolverine as Gambit falls surprisingly flat. His attempt at a Cajun accent is both distracting and unintentionally amusing, undermining the character's charm. Beyond that, Tatum appears disengaged, lacking the enthusiasm and magnetism he typically brings to his roles. With dynamic co-stars like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman stealing the show, Tatum's lackluster portrayal stands out even more, making him feel out of place in an otherwise energetic film. And the last worst movie performance of 2024 on our list is Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, Folie à Deux. Joaquin Phoenix may have won an Academy Award for his portrayal of the Joker in the first film, but his performance in the sequel, Folie à Deux, feels disappointingly stagnant. Rather than exploring new dimensions of the character, Phoenix rehashes the same beats from the original, offering little growth or evolution. The performance lacks the depth or risk-taking that could challenge the audience's perception of the Joker, leaving the character stuck in the same melancholic and pitiable state as before. Unfortunately, what once felt fresh and compelling now comes across as repetitive and uninspired. So, which movie performance of 2024 do you consider the worst? Tell us in the comments section. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.